one of our tour of Semliki Wildlife Reserve. I am on a journey to discover a little-known paradise in western Uganda. Bordered by Ntoroko district to the west and Kabarole to the east, it is one of Uganda's oldest reserves, gazetted in 1926 by the colonial government to protect hundreds of Uganda cobs from hunters. We are starting with a journey that set our minds imagining what lay ahead. The first stop of our journey is Fort Portal, a town famed for being the cleanest in the country. Today I'm telling you about my journey to Semliki Wildlife Reserve. But this journey is very incomplete if I do not make a stopover at the palace here in Ntoroko, commonly known as the Chikari Chomkama. It is scenic and very beautiful even before you get to Semliki Wildlife Reserve. On your way, you will enjoy sights of the mountain Rwenzori, the Rift Valley and forests. The mountainous landscape connecting several trading centers and villages is something to marvel at. However, it poses a daunting task for tourists that travel this path. We are in Ntoroko district, and here is the long winding road that leads to the reserve. I am told that while driving on this road, you have to be very careful as a tourist because they're very sharp corners. At 5 p.m., having left Kampala at 10 a.m., we arrive at the Semliki Wildlife Reserve amidst the thrill of having a first close encounter with its breathtaking wilderness. We immediately, on arrival, take an evening game drive that costs 30,000 shillings for East Africans.
It is a savanna, but we have chimpanzee in a savanna ecosystem which is unique to most areas, because it is known that chimpanzees are within forest. And we also have elephants, forest subspecies.
To track down certain animals easily, we learn that a tourist has to come to places such as this impressive soil leak.
Most Uganda cobs, they come here to lick the soil. So the droppings that you have just picked or you have are the droppings of Uganda cob.
As night fell, for the love of satisfying our curiosity, I asked about the activities to expect as a tourist.
We have primate walk, where we expect to see different primates. It is normally done in a forested area, where we expect to see chimpanzee, we expect to see black and white, calabash monkey, red-tailed.
Night fell and day came, and we headed to Bundibujo to see Semliki National Park. The park, just about 20 kilometers from Semliki Wildlife Reserve, is not only branded as the birders' haven, but also a destination with the hottest hot springs in Uganda. As we begin to smell the sulfur from the ground, I find out that the Vamba believe their ancestors are responsible for the creation of this wonder.
One time, women went to collect water at Mungilo Falls, and then they came across a man who was walking in a zigzag way. He had a spear, a dog and a backcloth, and more so his body was hairy. They ran home and informed their husbands, who came and picked up that man, and he was taken to the Bamba, into the Bamaga clan. And then they adopted him as a son, and then they gave him a wife and he married. So he continued hunting until one time he went and he didn't turn back. And when they mounted a search where the male hot spring is, that's where they found his spear, the backcloth and the dog. So when they reached there, they lost hope and they said, "Oh, Vitente, he has disappeared from here. So he has turned into a hot spring." So they went back home. They gave the news to the wife, who also became so stressful. And then after 3 days, she also disappeared. And when they mounted a search, they found her backcloth here. So they believed the wife also turned out to be a hot spring.
Being at the female hot springs is as good as being in a sauna. As you can see, I'm already sweating.
The mantle is heating up and there are stones down there which are being heated. And then when water passes via those stones, the water comes out when it is hot.
The temptation by many is to visit the hot springs and live, but there is more to be seen.
More people come to Semliki National Park, especially to see the hot springs. So it is possible to link the two, to link the Semliki National Park and the hot springs to the Semliki Wildlife Reserve. You would have people coming to the Semliki National Park to see the hot springs, and then on their way back, they could pass by Semliki and have probably an afternoon game drive.
Those of you with an investment eye, looking for where to put money and make it, you may need to pay attention.
In terms of accommodation, Bundibujo is not well served. So many times people come in, see the springs, see the birds, and then go back to Fort Portal. So an investor, a good investor, would need to put up a good hotel. As an investor, you would have to invest more in marketing the place, such that if you had to open, say, a campsite near the park, or a tented camp, or a hotel or a lodge, you would find yourself spending more on marketing.
Join us tomorrow as we take the primate walk and attempt to do a boat cruise.